enough of this! You never listen to me, ever!
Think about the last time something made you lose it. Maybe it was a person who pushed you past your limit. A situation that spiraled beyond your control. A moment where you said something or did something that the calmer version of you would never have done. Now think about what it cost you. A relationship, an opportunity, someone's trust, maybe just your own self-respect for the rest of that day. Here is the thing most people never say about emotional control. The problem is not that you felt something. The problem is that you let what you felt make a decision that your values should have made. 2,000 years ago, a man was handed the most powerful position in the known world, Emperor of Rome. And almost immediately, everything tried to break him. A plague, killing millions. Wars on every border. Betrayal from people he loved. A body in constant pain. And every single morning, before Rome got 1 second of his time, he sat alone and worked on the one thing he could actually control. His own mind. His name was Marcus Aurelius. And today, we are going to use his life to teach you something that no one ever taught you in school. EQ, emotional quotient, and emotional mastery is not a personality type. It is not something you are born with or without. It is a skill. And like every skill, it is built through deliberate, daily practice. Let's get into it. He was not born this way. Marcus Aurelius did not wake up one day simply calm. We see these statues and think Marcus was born serene. He wasn't. He was a man of high IQ, but his EQ was something he had to fight for every single day. He was selected at 17 by Emperor Hadrian to one day inherit Rome. And by his own honest admission in his private journal, he struggled. He writes about his impatience, his vanity, his hunger for approval, his anger when people acted exactly as he expected them to act, but somehow still managed to frustrate him. He writes, and this is important, he writes to himself, not for anyone else. He'd tell himself every morning, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and surly. That isn't pessimism. That is high-level EQ. He wasn't bypassing difficult emotions. He was anticipating them. He was naming the ambush before it happened. He was studying human behavior, including his own, like a scientist studying a specimen under glass. That is the first lesson, and most people never reach it. 161 AD, Marcus becomes emperor, and almost immediately the tests arrive. Not one at a time, but all at once. The Antonine Plague sweeps through the empire, up to 5 million people dead. The treasury is draining. His co-emperor, Lucius Verus, is everything Marcus is not. Reckless, impulsive, addicted to pleasure. And Marcus has to govern alongside him, without publicly destroying him. A trusted general stages a full military rebellion against him. And his own son, the child he raised and loved, is turning into a cruel, unstable man. Most of us fracture under one of those things. One betrayal, one catastrophic failure. One person we love choosing a path we cannot follow. Marcus faced all of them, simultaneously, while running the world. And here is what his private writings tell us. He felt every single one. He grieved. He was frustrated. He doubted. He was afraid. But he had built something, a daily internal architecture, that meant those emotions never made his decisions for him. He used his AQ, adversity quotient, to absorb the blow, but it was his EQ that told him what to do next. So, how did he do it? Every morning, before Rome got a single second of his time, Marcus sat alone and wrote. He wasn't writing strategy. He was running a performance review on his own soul. He wrote about his own reactions from the day before, where he had been impatient, where he had sought validation he did not need, where someone else's emotional state had become his own without his permission. He did this with no audience, no grade, no external accountability whatsoever. He did it because he understood something deeply. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now let's decode what Marcus Aurelius actually built, and what it means for your life right now. Not his life, yours. The power of the pause. Most people think emotional control is about being a robot. It's not. Marcus didn't feel less than you. He just trained the gap between the strike and the reaction. Neuroscience confirms exactly what Marcus practiced. When you're triggered, your amygdala, your primitive fight or flight center, takes over. It wants to scream, to quit, to burn the bridge. But when you force a pause, you physically move the blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. You move from instinct to intention. EQ isn't about suppressing the fire. It's about selection. It's choosing which version of you shows up to the fight. And so the next time you feel reactive, do not respond for 60 seconds. Walk away. Breathe. You aren't being weak. You are waiting for your thinking brain to come back online so you can choose a response that serves your future self. Building forward, not bouncing back. Life knocked Marcus sideways repeatedly. Death, plague, and war. Most people talk about resilience as bouncing back, returning to where you were before the hit. But Marcus didn't want to go back to the version of himself that was vulnerable to the hit. He used his AQ, adversity quotient, to build forward. This is the secret of the high AQ individual. They don't try to feel less. They train themselves to recover faster. They see a setback not as a wall, but as raw material. They ask, what does this situation require me to become that I wasn't yesterday? Now know this, resilience is a trained response. When something goes wrong today, stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? Don't try to go back to normal. Build a new normal that is stronger because of the damage. Here is what you walk away with today. Not inspiration, not information. A practice, I call it the pause, name, choose method. 3 steps. You can start today. Step 1, pause. Create the gap the moment a strong emotion arrives. Anger, fear, anxiety, defensiveness. Your one job is to stop the automatic response. Breathe. Count internally to 5. Walk away for 60 seconds if you can. This is not weakness. This is you choosing which version of yourself shows up next. Marcus called this the space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, who survived Auschwitz, called it the same thing. It is the most important real estate in your life. Step 2, name. Say precisely what is happening. Not I'm fine when you are not. Not nothing when something is clearly moving inside you. Get surgical. I am feeling disrespected, and it is triggering my ego. I am scared of failing, and I am calling it caution. I am angry because I feel powerless here, and I cannot admit that yet. Naming an emotion neurologically reduces its intensity by up to 50%. When you name it, you move it from your emotional brain to your thinking brain. You go from passenger to driver. Step 3, choose. Act from your values, not your feelings. After the pause, after the naming, ask one question. What does the person I am building do here? Not what feels satisfying, not what will make me look strong, not what will hurt them back. What does the person I am becoming do? Marcus Aurelius asked himself a version of this every single morning. That daily practice is why, under the most intense pressure imaginable, his values had the final vote. And here are your 3 morning questions. Write them down. Answer them before your phone, before your emails, before anyone else's agenda enters your head. What emotion is most likely to challenge me today? And how will I respond to it? Where did I let my feelings make a decision my values should have made yesterday? What one thing can I do today that the version of me I am becoming would be proud of? Not 5 pages. 3 questions, 5 minutes, every morning. Marcus Aurelius ran the greatest empire in human history with that kind of internal discipline. You do not need to run an empire, but you do need to run yourself. This is not a history lesson. This is a mirror, a 2,000-year-old proof that the most powerful thing any human being can develop is the intelligence to understand and direct what happens inside them. IQ opens the door. Ambition gets you in the room. Strategy gives you the map. But emotional mastery, that is what decides whether you can stay in the room when things get hard. Subscribe if you're ready to build a mind that is truly capable. And do me a favor, drop a comment below. Which of the 5 quotients do you feel is your weakest right now? No judgment, just honesty. That's where we start. Stay capable. I'll see you in the next one.